should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. Preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Happy Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Happy Hour. You're tuned in to Happy Hour, an hour where Happy rants about something. Sit back and listen in. Happy Hour is on now. Happy Hour is on now.
Yo, what's up? This is Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppy. And for the next hour, my goal in life is to change the way you think about things. For the next hour, I want my rant and my opinion to broaden your horizon and to get into contact with me. I swear I'm a man of my words. I don't lie. I'm an honest guy. Hey, that rhymed. It's not hard to get into contact with me. Call me. 856-49-HOPPY. That is 856-49-HOPPY. And when I say the phone lines are open, that's when you call in, because it's an online show. I don't have a phone screener. So the best way to get into contact with me is through 856-49-HOPPY. When I say all phone lines are open, also tweet at me. I will be sure to interact with it during the breaks on this show via the live broadcast I do via the Hoppy Radio app or Spreaker. I will be sure to check it at Ryan Hoppy Radio. And if you get the Hoppy Radio app from the Google Play or iPhone shop, you can search up Hoppy Radio, Hoppe Radio. And when I do this show live, you can chat me. It's a really cool feature. And you can listen anywhere in the world. I don't care if you're in Cleveland, Louisville, West Virginia, or Tampa Bay. You can get into contact with me anytime. We have so much to get into, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a humble approach of how to approach this, but whatever. In life, you got to be a little bit confident. As a quick reminder, It's a very important election season. No, not that see you next Tuesday, Clinton and that piece of dirt Trump. Not those imbeciles. Help vote Happy Hour as best local podcast here in the Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. Go to tinyurl.com/vote for Happy Hour. That's tinyurl.com/vote for Happy Hour. There, you can also vote me a bunch of other categories. I don't feel like giving a list. It's weird. I'm up for best local morning show. I mean, I don't get up until noon. But you can listen to me in the morning. I've been on the Mike Kelta show in the morning. I mean, I'm flattered. And it doesn't even say Happy Hour. It says Ryan Hoppy. So you can vote me as best morning show. Makes no sense. But all of that is at tinyurl.com/vote for Happy Hour. Oh, yeah. Doesn't this music just put you in the mood for annoying political ads where a bitch and a douchebag go at each other? Yeah. Man, I cannot wait for these debates to come up. Going to be the best reality TV possible. All right. We have so much to get into. Before I even get into anything, I thought, should I talk about the shooting video where it's an innocent, unarmed African-American kid in Chicago? May have been innocent, may not have been, and a Chicago cop killed him. I don't know. What am I going to say? So I'm going to take this approach when I break this down for you guys. I don't know what way we want it in this society. We feel bad when the cops get assassinated in Dallas, or they get shot in Baton Rouge, or Minneapolis, or Chicago, anywhere, and our hearts are then broken. But then, when these videos come out, we then condemn cops because of one or two bad apples. Not every cop's going to be good. There are plenty of dirty cops out there. Trust me when I say there's a lot of bad cops out there. But for all the bad cops that are out there, there are mostly great cops. Trust me when I say that. So what I'm getting at is we seem to be very crazy and very schizophrenic when it comes to how we feel about cops. 1 week We love them, and we're like, oh man, they got assassinated in Dallas. Oh man, they put their lives on the line. And then one video comes out from Chicago, or one video comes out from Baltimore, and then we start hating on cops again. And then you have this week that was just silly. That prank video, I'm not going to even play it. This cop pulls over these like 3 African-American kids. And he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? And they're like, no, officer. And if you look at the one dude in the front seat, he looks nervous. Like they have probably weed in the car or something. And I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm just saying, he looks pretty nervous. And he goes, well, I'm going to have to charge you with a DWI. Driving without ice cream. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I get that cops want to come off more likable. I get that there are mood swings with America, with how we treat the cops. But really, officer friendly, doing a prank video where you pull somebody over is the way to get attention. Really, that's how you're going to do it. That's your approach, is you're not going to do community service or just keep doing your job. You needed to have video evidence that you got a personality. Utterly ridiculous. The problem is, cops need to realize that the few cops that do have viral videos, those are the cops that we all think of. So when we see cops, we immediately think of the cop that shot that kid dead in Chicago. Or when we see a video of a cop and he pulled someone to the side of the road for a DWI, driving without ice cream, we then think about every single cop and we go, oh yeah, they do those videos. Oh yeah, they shoot people. Cops need to realize that they need to be on their best behavior all the time. And if you really think making these videos is a good idea, these prank videos, you're representing cops in the worst possible way. You're making them come off like imbeciles. It wasn't like you approached somebody at some music fest and you pulled them to the side. You pulled somebody over while they're trying to go about their day. I don't think they were like, oh my God, wow. Officer Joe got us. And I'm not going to rag on the cops. I'm just saying, these cops that are making these videos, I mean, can't you just do a good deed without the camera needing to be on? I mean, it's just really, really sad because they try to act so cool on these videos and then you have the bad videos. And then every time we think about cops, it's from the videos. I really don't think that the officers that made those videos really thought about the outcome of it. It made cops look really bad. There was nobody that watched that DWI video where he's like, driving without ice cream. And they were like, wow. Oh my God. Officer Joe. Wow. How did you come up with that? Get it? Driving while intoxicated, but he pulled him over. They think they have a DUI, DWI, different names, different places. But, oh my God, it's driving without ice cream. He got them. I mean, really? Is that what it's come down to? Cops need that much attention? And I love the cops. If we didn't have the blue, we would be screwed. I'm just saying, the cops that make these videos and these cops that shoot these kids dead, you need to realize that when you're doing that, it's going to go viral. It'll get millions of views on YouTube, and your one video represents all cops. Fair or not fair, but that's how everybody thinks. Trust me when I say that. And if anybody's going to deny it and go, Hoppy, you're crazy, call me. 856-49-HOPPY. I'm just saying 856-49-HOPPY. It just seems like they really want to fit in. We just need to be nicer to each other. Just because they have a badge and a gun on their waist and handcuffs doesn't mean we can't be social with them. Like last night, I was in downtown St. Pete for First Friday, and it was absolute madness. And I just talked to a cop for 5 minutes, and I was like, I respect what you do. I'm glad you wear the badge. You keep us safe. Most cops are good. So if we want to fix the problem of all the animosity we've had towards cops recently, number one, cops need to quit making those dumb videos because nobody's impressed by it, and you're making your whole job look awful when you're doing these videos. Number two, we need to realize that not every cop is the same. Nobody is the same person. We all have different DNA. Just because there's a few bad cops or a few silly cops, we can't judge every single cop. And at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We all poop. We all die. Just because they're wearing a badge doesn't make them any different. I know they have more power than us, But let's just try to get along. All right. Call me. The phone lines are open. 856-49-HOPPY. That's 856-49-HOPPY. And I saw this headline from the Daily Mail, and I don't know. I'm not saying that my generation, and I don't know why I'm using the word my as if I represent it, but you know what I mean. The millennials. I'm not saying that we're great. I'm not saying that the millennials have a bright future so far. But here's what I find ridiculous. Here's what I find uncreative about the hate that this generation's been getting recently. This is what I find so hacky and so unoriginal about the Generation X or baby boomers ripping into us. And trust me, this isn't going to be a rant where I'm going to be the punk-ass kid ripping into the older people. This is just how I feel. We are in our 20s right now. We are very, very young. If this was the year 2036 and all the millennials were 40-year-olds taking selfies and doing nothing with their life, then you have the right to judge us. But how dare you judge us when the economy sucks and it's hard to find a job and a lot of hardworking millennials have 2 jobs and live with their parents? How dare you judge us when it's not our fault that we're addicted to social media? Generation X and the baby boomers are the ones that created it. If it wasn't for Jobs making the iPhone, we wouldn't have Snapchat and we wouldn't have Gram and everything. And if you guys had what we had in the 70s, trust me when I say, oh boy, a lot of you guys wouldn't have the jobs you've had for the past 30 years with tenure. There would be videos of you having sex in mud at music fests. There would be videos of you guys doing weed and coke in mosh pitches at crazy rock shows in the 80s. Every generation has their faults. And the reason that this generation is getting more hate is because everyone's like, oh my God, there's video proof. Ugh, shut up. Really? You guys had it so much better back then. Because Pink Floyd was really that good. It's decent music. Because Kiss is that great. That's what I love too, is they rip into the music we're into. Were your parents into the music that you were into? Were your grandparents into the music that they were into? Were your great-grandparents into the music that their grandparents were into? Were your great-great-grandparents into what your great-great-grandparents were into? Every generation looks down on the next generation. So to all these articles and all these bloggers and radio hosts and people online, those damn millennials. If it goes on year 2036, 2046, and we're all in our 50s and our life is halfway to mostly over with, and we're losers then, trust me, then you can rip into us. But we're in our 20s. We're trying to figure out the world. Just 10 years ago, we were in middle school. And I'll make you feel old. All right. This is from Laura Lambert from the Daily Mail. Why Granny hates kids taking all those selfies. It says here that they hate when we snap pics of ourselves in front of others, and they find it completely unacceptable behavior. That dead air was for a reason. It's so unacceptable to take a picture in public. If you had smartphones in the 70s, trust me when I say you would be taking pictures. When you would go see the Grateful Dead or Kiss or whatever genre of music you were into, trust me when I say there would be video proof of the madness that went on at those shows and not just pics that you can see. Trust me when I say you would be taking selfies with Jimi Hendrix and a lot of the famous celebrities. Trust me when I say all the crazy celebrities now that seem insane because of social media, all the actors that are classy like Clint Eastwood, Robert De Niro, all the ones that we look up to, I'm sure they partied hard too. It's just because we have the video access, the fact that you can put something online immediately, that we're just getting all the hate. Shut up. Ridiculous. I'm over this. And it's not even that I'm self-conscious or that I care what they think about us. It's just getting really, really, really repetitive. Come on. Like I said, if in 20 years we're doing nothing with our life, I got it. But things aren't really good right now. You have a rich, egomaniac running for president, and people think that a guy from The Apprentice is presidential material. And then you have the scumbag wife of a decent president who hung out with her husband after he got a blowjob in the office, and she didn't divorce him. She might be our president. Things are not good right now. Sorry that the millennials don't have it all figured out like you guys did. Generation X and baby boomers. I'm sure you had everything going on at age 24. Bet you had the whole world figured out. That's what I'm saying. It says here, it might be a little vain, but the younger generation has become perfectly normal to taking pics of themselves on a smartphone in public. To their grandparents, however, snapping selfies in front of others is completely unacceptable. With 4 out of 10 people that are above the age of 70 thinking that way. Says here, this isn't the one thing that is getting a lot of complaints about, but they are really, really sick of the smartphone use. And then they have a pic of like a really pretty girl taking a selfie at a music fest. Because that's what I love too. Whenever the media talks about the millennials and our cell phone use and how we're useless, they have to show the millennials at music fests or crazy concerts or raves, because every millennial ever just does ecstasy on the weekend. Every millennial ever just goes and just gets really drunk and pays $170 per day for a music fest, because we can afford that. Because every millennial just pops ecstasy and goes see some EDM guy like David Guetta. Yeah, because that's what we all do. No. Last night, I just went to downtown St. Pete and got a few drinks with my friend that's 35. We're not all imbeciles. I just love how that's the first pick they go with, you know? And I'll take selfies like when I'm at an event and I'm working for 1025 The Bone and it's promotions. Like if I'm working with Saba, one of my good friends here, you might know her from the Mike Kelta Drunky Drunk Party. Just a really sweet girl. Whenever we're working events, she's fun to be around. I want to document this pic because it's a fun event. Wow. I took a picture in public. Oh, no. Oh, no. A date. They take a pic of themselves at a comedy club because they like each other and they want to document this moment. Oh, no. All right. These 70-year-olds, Clint Eastwood would be all on this. Clint Eastwood would be the dude now that would brag about working out. Same with Robert De Niro. If it was out back then, they would be all on it. It just says here that they're hating on us, and 83% disapprove, and they don't like when it's on in movie theaters and cinemas. Well, yeah, nobody likes when the phone is on in movie theaters and cinemas. But that's not just millennials. It's not like the age group of people that use cell phones at movies are just the ages of 18 to, what is it, like 29 for quote-unquote millennials. I'm sure Project X, or I meant to say Generation X. I'm sure they never use their phone, or baby boomers. It's just millennials that use the phone at the movie theaters. To me, articles like this are very, very lame. It's a slow news day. I'm sure the Daily Mail needs to have enough news on their website, so they're just scrambling to cover something. Here's the final thought I will bring to the table, before I go to a break. Here's the thing. Not sitting here and saying that millennials have it figured out. I'm not saying we have a bright future. We do have a problem. We love to use social media, but so does everyone. Everyone likes it. Here's the other thing. And I was debating if I wanted to take this angle, and I was debating if I wanted to do this. Whatever. If I come off like a bratty kid, fine. Whatever. Here's the thing. My problem is the fact that a lot of parents were their kids' best friends growing up, and a lot of parents made their kids into the bratty millennials that they are now. So what I'm getting at is, I'm not saying it's all our parents' faults, but they're the ones that had sex and then 9 months later gave birth to us, and then were our influences growing up. I have a great mom and I had a great dad. They were very religious. They kind of hid me from the public. It wasn't healthy. Now I'm getting out now. But what I'm getting at is I had good parents. But there were tons of parents that would smoke weed and have drinking parties with their kids. And those are the kids that don't know what they're doing with their life. And those are the kids that are getting ripped on by Generation X, the same age as their parents that grew them up, and their grandparents, the same grandparents that took care of the parents that grew us up. It's all a chain. Yes, we have a lot of flaws. The millennials. Yes, we might be very ego-filled and we need attention. But it all begins somewhere. All right, call me. 856-49-HOPPY. It is 856-49-HOPPY. We will be right back on Happy Hour after this. Hang on.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
On the street ain't no action.
Tweet Hoppy at Ryan Hoppy Radio. Email him, Ryan@HoppyRadio.com, and give him a nice, sexy Snapchat at Hoppy Radio. Plenty of hops for your satisfaction.
I have been obsessed with this song all week long. It's called Body Bags, and it's by 50 Cent. It kind of reminds me of like his first album, Get Rich or Die Trying. Sort of has the vibe of Many Men Wish Death Upon Me. I heard it at the end of the show Power that he has helped create, one of the best shows on TV. I would say you guys have to check it out. Call me, 856-49-HOPPY. It's 856-49-HOPPY. And all right, I don't want this next rant to feel like I'm ripping into Black Lives Matter, because this next rant has to do with any type of protest when you block traffic and how disrespectful and awful and uninnovative and lame it is to block traffic just to prove a point. So I saw this, and this is from the Daily Mail, and this is going on in Britain, in London. It says, that'll show them. Black Lives Matter protests chanting, hands up, don't shoot, head to East London and barricade a Waitrose lorry. Black Lives Matter protests blocked off busy roads in East London where traffic came to a complete halt. They said over and over, hands up, don't shoot, a slogan with cops in the U.S. at unarmed officers. New wave of protests after a morning of travel chaos, as they blocked off the M4 highway and a lot of roads. Here's the thing. I want things to get better. I really, really do. I do believe that we need to get along. I get the point of Black Lives Matter. I get the point of when teachers go and they get mad and they don't go to work and they do protests. This isn't about Black Lives Matter. This isn't about them. It's about every protest ever. Why do you think you guys swing 0 for 1,000 on protests? I've never seen a successful protest work. Maybe when the TV writers got mad like 10 years ago and they all went and had their signs, that kind of worked, you know, for TV. It ruined a lot of TV shows, but that helped prove a point when they all just wouldn't go to work. That's the one time a protest has worked. When you're blocking traffic and you're in people's way and you're making a commotion and you're really loud and you're annoying people, nobody is going to then think of your, let's say, protest or your matter that you're trying to spread or your activism, and they're not going to think of it positively. Because here's what's going to happen. Every time they think about teachers that want to get paid more, or they think about Black Lives Matter or any protest group ever, and they see it on the news, or they see it somewhere, they're not going to think, oh, those guys work real hard to prove a point. You know what they're going to think? Oh, those imbeciles, those douchebags blocked off traffic when I was trying to get home. Or it was my kid's birthday and I was an hour and a half late, and they didn't think I was going to come anyway, so I looked bad. Everybody in traffic wants to get somewhere. That's why there's cars out there. Everyone's trying to get home from work or trying to get to work, trying to get to school, trying to get to their booty call. You always have somewhere to go when you're driving. That's the point of having a car. You're moving. You're trying to get to where you're supposed to go. And when you have Black Lives Matter in London, the biggest city in Britain, one of the biggest cities in Europe, if not the biggest, and you have the highway and roads shut down because of your protest, you're not proving anything. You're not changing anyone's opinion. You're not making anybody go, wow, they're edgy. You're just pissing off everybody, and you're not helping your point. How about you do protests where you let traffic go by and you don't block the roads and you don't scream at the top of your lungs? It's just like people who get mad when they play Pokemon Go in public and they're like, why is everyone mad at us? It's because you're at a park at 4 a.m. in Tampa blocking off traffic. If you get in people's way and you mess up trying to get somewhere or you mess up the roads, the first thing they're going to think of is negative. Nobody is going to be rooting for you. Just saying. It says the group also targeted the Birmingham airport and the Nottingham tram setup, and they made the whole train setup in London shut down. What's that proving? What did you get by shutting down the train in London? The train. What did you get? Did you go home that day, take off your outfit, and you put down your signs? And this is for any protest ever, not just Black Lives Matter. I want to specify that. But did you go home and you're like, oh my God, we caused a bunch of people from getting to the, let's say, nightclub or concert they want to go to, or they have to get to school, or they have to get to work. We really proved the point. By being an inconvenience to everyone else, we really showed why we matter. Black Lives Matter protests intent on causing chaos in London blocked as they chanted, hands up, don't shoot. That's the thing. They're trying to protest not to have chaos with cops and African-American kids and to prevent the chaos, but then they're creating chaos by blocking traffic. Doesn't make sense. The group of so far peaceful protests marched through East London and blocked traffic in Whitechapel and Shoreditch, annoying drivers heading to the trendy area. So this was on a Friday night, you know. Everybody's trying to just have fun. They work their 9 to 5 every day. They just want to relax. You know, they're in London. Maybe it's their last night in town in London. They got a nice vacation. They hate their life in America. And then Black Lives Matter or any protest ever has to block the traffic. I mean, I get annoyed when people in Florida watch traffic and they'll watch a car crash on the side of the road. It's not like that in the Midwest. All these transplant drivers down here go, oh my God, there's a car crash over there. I have to watch it and go 5 miles per hour into Howard Franklin. Get the hell out of here. That's what I don't get is people don't really seem to get the point of the mobile vehicle. They don't really seem to get the point that it's automotive and it can take you anywhere. And if you want to observe a car crash, walk onto Howard Franklin and just look at it. But we have to get somewhere. Same with these protests. If you want to prove a point, just don't block traffic. We're trying to do something. It is after a wave of protests this morning, which saw protests from the Black Lives Matter group bring transport routes to a complete halt by blocking the entrances to airport. Do we like snow? No, we hate snow. You know why everyone hates snow? It's because I had to wait 4 more days back after Christmas, after the New Year, because it shut down O'Hare Airport. And everybody was grumpy. Everybody was annoyed at O'Hare. Every flight was canceled. It was absolute chaos. It was really nerve-wracking. So now whenever I see snow on TV, I immediately think of when I had to wait 4 days to go back to paradise from the boring Midwest. By Black Lives Matter or any protest group blocking traffic to the airport where people are trying to get home, especially when you're in London and there's been ISIS attacks in Europe and people just want to get home and they're on edge. By blocking the entrance to airports, you're not impressing anybody. No one's taking your cause seriously. And I'm all for Black Lives Matter or any protest group. If that's how you feel, you have the right to have that opinion. And you have the right to speak your mind. But you don't have the right to block people's way when they're trying to get somewhere. You're not impressing anybody. God damn it. It's annoying. Like 3 years ago, there were these guys that had impeached Barack Obama, and they were blocking the traffic on the highway going from DuPage County near my radio school in Lombard, Illinois. So if anybody from Lombard is listening, you know what I mean, when you go towards the suburbs by the racetrack. And I remember I was so angry. These protests were just annoying everybody because it was on the ramp above. And it just said impeach Obama, and it had Obama with a Hitler. He had the same facial hair as Hitler. And now whenever I see the comment, impeach Obama, I think of that day, when they blocked my time and it took me 2 hours to get home from school when it should have taken me 10. That's what people don't really seem to get about how we represent each other. If one incident goes down, we then think of every cop as the cop that shoots someone to death. Or if a cop does a weird prank, we then get annoyed with every cop. The same thing goes with protests. You represent your whole cause. You're not helping your point when you're blocking traffic and you're getting in people's way and you're being disruptive. I get that there's no violence going on, but do it in a goddamn field. Do something creative. Nothing's changing. So when you keep doing the same crap, getting in everyone's way and annoying everybody, is anything changing? If anything, things are getting worse. So the approach that protests are taking is an absolute abomination. It's not very well thought out. I don't know if they're out of ideas, but it's just... And then I just don't even get the point of these protests. You're out there and you're holding up signs, okay? I get what you're trying to prove. It just doesn't seem like it's working. I really don't think it's working at all. I think it's actually hurting the point. And it's not because of what they're preaching. I want to specify that 100 times. It's not because it's Black Lives Matter or a teacher protest, whatever protest. It's the fact that you're not going about it the right way. And you're going about it with this cocky, arrogant approach and swagger. And it just pisses people off. All right, there's not much more to this article. It just talks about how it blocked off traffic. People were trying to get to the trendy bars, and it annoyed a lot of Americans that were visiting. All right, call the show, 856-49-HOPPY. That is 856-49-HOPPY, and tweet at me, @RyanHoppyRadio, and message me via the Hoppy Radio app, and I will be sure to get to it in real time. We will be right back on Hoppy Hour. Up next, I'm going to take you guys back to 2006 with Lighters Up by Lil' Kim. Hang on.
Hoppy Hour. Hoppy Hour.
Put your lighters up, Boston. Put your lighters up, Timor. Keep putting your lighters up, Miami. Put your lighters up, Puerto Rico. Put your lighters up, Kingston, Jamaica. Keep putting them lighters up. No matter where you're from, put your lighters up.
The bouncer is asking for his permission. This is Hoppy Hour.
Talk about songs that put you in a good mood. All the music that's out now just makes you want to do ecstasy and rave, which isn't fun. But this is How We Do It by Montreal Jordan. Yeah, it makes you just want to have fun, What the hell happened to rap music? I'm not saying it was ever amazing, but this is just fun music, This just makes you want to hang out with your friends and just appreciate life. Good old Montreal Jordan. I can't tell you another song that the guy did, but I am a big fan of this. This is a song that I play in the car. Whenever I'm in a good mood and I'm going across to Howard Franklin, you know what I listen to? Montreal Jordan. It's my guy. You want to come on Hoppy Hour? Whenever you want, Montreal, because you know why? This is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Da 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 da. I really wish I was good at singing. I could serenade the ladies like Johnny B from 102.5 The Bound. I can't sing for crap. That's why I will leave it to Montrell Jordan. Call me 856-49-HOPPY. That is 856-49-HOPPY. And this song makes perfect sense for this next headline. Because the Fairfax, Virginia mayor, he knows how to do it. Scott Silverthorne. Wow. What a mayor. It is a suburb of Washington, D.C. in Virginia. I believe that's where the American Dad, the show, that's where it's based out of, is Fairfax, that area. I know it's Langley Falls, but that's based off of Fairfax. That's my savant fact of the day. That's how I do it. Fairfax Mayor Scott Silverthorne taken down in meth for sex scandal after he supplied undercover cop with drugs, hoping for an orgy with him and his friends. What I love is presidents, mayors, whatever, any type of person. They're supposed to be the role models that kids look up to. They're supposed to be the people that we elect to lead our country. And Fairfax is a pretty major suburb of Washington, D.C., a major market. And their mayor was in a meth for orgy scandal. I mean, you would think this would be the mayor of Ocala or some crazy town in Florida, not the upper class of Washington, D.C. Scott Silverthorne, the mayor of Fairfax, Virginia, was taken in on Thursday night after a week-long police hit. The Fairfax County Police Department began an undercover operation looking into the mayor when they got a tip that he had meth for sex. It's just the worst possible drug. And his mugshot, too. He's just like, yeah, I'm caught. Might as well smile. An undercover detective made an online profile geared towards what police heard Silverthorne liked on a casual sex website. I bet he's in this marriage where he's got this nice house and this nice car and a decent life, but it just gets boring over and over and over again with your wife. I feel like that's what happens with these famous public figures is they portray themselves, because they're in politics, and they portray themselves like these great role models that are going to lead this country, but they're nothing more than actors. Because the ones that we elect to be the mayor of Fairfax, Virginia, if you're from there, he wanted to have orgies if you gave them meth. I mean, that's not really political material, but it kind of is. Silverthorne, age 50, contacted the detective 2 days later, and police claim he sent them a text to tell him he could supply them with meth for a hot orgy. This is so juicy. Police claim that Silverthorne then agreed to give them 2 grams of meth for the participation of the detective and his friends in an all-male orgy. Here's my thing. Is if he was some everyday regular Joe, or if he was some average mayor of some small town in Tennessee, you'd go, whatever. But Fairfax is a pretty big suburb of Washington, D.C. And he's cheating on his wife in an all-male potential orgy where he gives them meth. Love every second of this. Silverthorne met with the cop at 7 p.m. thinking that they were going to have group sex, but he was taken in when he handed them the meth. Don't you kind of think when you're the mayor of a very major suburb, of a major city, that you're not going to get away with this? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I have more common sense than Scott Silverthorne, the mayor of Fairfax, Virginia. I'm just saying. The mayor of one of Virginia's biggest cities supplied a detective with meth for participation in a group sex session, according to law enforcement officials. Mayor Scott Silverthorne was taken outside the Crown Plaza Hotel in Tyson's Corner Thursday after he handed a man he had met on a casual sex website 2 grams of meth. The Fairfax mayor was under the impression that he and a man who had known one another for a few weeks but never met in person would be joining another man in a group sex party inside the hotel. That's the thing, too, is I don't get the interest in, like, a group sex party. It's just, there's too much going on. I'm a really self-conscious guy with a very, very shallow type of an ego. I'm a good guy. I'm nice. But I couldn't be around other dudes, number one, during sex just because I'm not into that. But I also wouldn't like the idea that they're potentially pleasing the girl more than me. I need to have the attention on me. So I don't really get the point of group sex. Maybe I'm missing out on it. Call me, 856-49-HOPPY. Do you have an experience that spiced it up? He commented on his arrest in a Facebook post on Friday, writing, I ask that you allow the process to proceed before rushing to judgment, as tough as that may be. What's going to happen? Because you have money and you're the mayor of Fairfax, Virginia, what's going to happen? You're going to get away with it. You're going to pay it off. Why should we wait to judge you? If you get away with this, we're going to keep on judging you. Even if you didn't do this, the fact that you were accused of it, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. But we know that he was going to give them meth, and he did, for a gay orgy. You were caught red-handed, dude. You were caught white-handed, no pun intended. I mean, of course we're going to judge you. That is the most bland response to getting taken in. That's when you know he's guilty, is when he can't even come up with an original post. He's like, as tough as it may be, because I'm pretty much caught red-handed, please just don't judge me. It's basically what he's saying. Silverthorne allegedly reached out to the undercover cop last month after coming across his profile online just 2 days after they set up a bogus account. The man began to text soon after, and during one of the late-night texts, Silverthorne told the cop that he would supply him with meth. Soon after that is when police say that Silverthorne sent a text to say that he would give the cop meth if he agreed to go down on him. Man, it gets juicy. The cop agreed and said that he would bring other men to the group gathering just as a reward. I bet this dude loved every second. He's like, oh my God, this is going to be the greatest session ever. Kim doesn't know how to go down on me. She's the worst wife, but these dudes will. And then you're just caught white-handed. Silverthorne showed up on Thursday at around 7 p.m. and was taken in by the cops on charges of meth and misdemeanor possession of drugs. He was not booked, and he was released later that night. Of course he was, because he has money. He has appointed Councilman Jeff Greenfield as acting mayor at this time. His second job as a teacher was never in jeopardy because he was already terminated this year. Somebody needs to do some research and figure out why he got his job terminated as a teacher. I would love to know the guy who is setting up group sex for meth when you're married. I would love to know what he's like around kids. I would love to know what type of a teacher he is, what morals, what virtues, and what lessons he brings to the table when he's the same dude that was dumb enough as the mayor of a major city in Virginia to get caught. Dude, this isn't the 90s. We don't have pagers. You're going to get caught. There's something called a screenshot. You were caught. You never were going to get away with this. But I feel like what happens is maybe he hasn't gotten action in a while and he's really wound up and really backed up. I feel like what happens is, dudes, we get so horny. We're cavemen. We're animals. And we love sex. Everybody loves sex, but men, we crave it. And I feel like if you're at that point in your life where you're at a midlife crisis or you're 50, you want to spice it up. So you're almost willing to put everything on the line just to have good sex. I feel like that's what he did. I feel like a part of him knew he would get caught, but he's so horned up and so tired of the traditional sex with his wife that he wanted to try it with men and just do it in the most kinkiest and dumb way possible. All right. He also revealed that the online account that he made for the casual sex site by their detective was designed based on what they had learned he was drawn into and what he liked. Here's the thing. He must be really, really gullible if he gets this message and it's the perfect mate. It's the perfect sex partner. I'm into Netflix. I like the beach. I like this, and this. I feel like the cops probably had their fake account as the perfect scenario for this guy. And he must just be really, really dumb if he thinks that it's true. He must be really dumb if he thought this was a real person. He must just be really lonely. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Because we get the messages on Bumble or Clover or Tinder, and it seems so good to be true. And that's when you know it's false. You know? Like recently, Tinder and Bumble, especially Tinder, every match is some hot babe, and it's like, hey, what are you doing tonight? That's when you know it's fake. Or they just give you your number, or they're like, hi, come see my cam show, and then I'll go down on you. That's when you know it's fake. I feel like they were kind of doing that with this dude, and he was so gullible and so horned up that he was cool with it. All right. There's not much more to the article. It just talks about the trouble he was in, and he had suppliers that are taken into the adult detention center. And his father was also the mayor of Fairfax from the 70s and 80s, so he really is doing a good job. He really is doing a good job of keeping that Silverthorne legacy alive in Fairfax, Virginia. It also says he was re-elected in May. Oh boy, does that city have some issues now. After a crazy year where he lost his job with the National Association of Manufacturers, he had to file for bankruptcy, lost his home, and was diagnosed with cancer. There you go. Got it. They should have specified that earlier in the article. It all makes sense now. He has cancer. Right now, it's in the withdrawal. So you're hoping for the best, but every day you go, is this my last? That's what this was. That is what this was a dude who knows he's going to probably lose to cancer. He's bankrupt. He lost his job with the National Association of Manufacturers, and he lost his job as a teacher. So things aren't really going good for him. He's not happy. Even though he's the mayor of Fairfax, nothing's good enough for him. So he needed that kinky sex to get things going, especially when you have cancer. That's what this was. Makes perfect sense. This is a dude who is afraid that his life is going to end sooner than later, especially now with cancer. So he wanted to have that once-in-a-lifetime YOLO sex session. It's a lesson, man. If something seems too good to be true and you're that horned up, just go on Pornhub. Just relax. It's not worth the time and effort of almost getting caught. But hey, who knows? Maybe I'm missing out. No, I'm not. I don't even get the idea of paying for sex. Ugh. You're basically paying for it when you take a girl out on a date. And I know people say, but it's guaranteed that you'll get laid. I like to have affection and a connection when I'm with somebody, not just paying. So it's just not my scene. But hey, I'm a really, really dorky guy. So maybe I'm just not the demographic of this type of life. And I want to make it in life. So I don't want to have a criminal record and be a 50-year-old mayor of a major city and not appreciate what I have. I'm just saying. Call the show. We're about to end it. 856-49-HOPPY. That's 856-49-HOPPY.
Happy hour is about to end. But first, it's time for last call.
Ow.
Oh. Ow! You hear that black box in the background? Oh, I love black boxes, you know. Gotta love this song. It means that Happy Hour is about to end. You can vote Happy Hour as best local podcast here in the Tampa Bay by the Creative Loaf and go to tinyurl.com/vote for Happy Hour. It's tinyurl.com/vote for Happy Hour, you know? Yeah! Ow! Ow! I heard myself. Ow, that hurt. Get it? When you go to tinyurl.com/vote for Happy Hour, I'm under Best Local Podcast, Best Internet Radio Show, Best Local Radio Personality, Best Morning Show, Best Twitter, whatever, Best Citizen. If you want to vote for me, I'd be honored. It'd mean a lot. If not, whatever. Tweet at me, at Ryan Happy Radio. Go to my website, ryanhappyradio.com. If you want to see Happy Hour live in action and you're not friends with me and you want to see my goofiness go back and forth as I rant, you can watch the full archive at tinyurl.com/Happy Hour Live. That is tinyurl.com/Happy Hour Live. And if you're in Cleveland, Louisville, the ROC, or here in Tampa, or Portland or Grand Rapids, and you want to hear more of the show, because those are the cities that we get a lot of listens in, you can get the app in the Google Play and iPhone shop. Search up Hoppy Radio, HOPPE Radio, and you can listen to the show anywhere in the world at any time. Podcasts are big right now. Mobile apps are big, so why not support this little show? Right, that's about it. You can go to tinyurl.com/happy hour decal. For $2, you can support my sponsor, Soul Leaf Graphics out of Duluth, Minnesota, my guy Nicholas Seymour, and get some nice decals. And finally, Simply Prepaid out of T-Mobile in Gulfport. Call them at 727-331-1934. That's 727-331-1934. And they're at 5014 Gulfport Boulevard South. And if you go there and tell them that I sent you, and you talk to Tony Spinney, his lovely wife, Patrick McVicker, Ryan in the tech department, they're one of the most loyal sponsors I have for the show. They will hook you up with a great deal. So they are at 5014 Gulfport Boulevard South, 727-331-1934. It's 727-331-1934. All right. I will be doing a happy hour on Monday, as Tyson Monroe will be here for Tyson's Monday playlist. Cannot wait. Or it's Flo's Monday playlist, rather. And I will be doing a show on Tuesday. But next week, I will be going to the Morning Show Boot Camp Radio Conference up in Atlanta. And I will be there for about 3 days. So Happy Hour will be on hiatus, but you can listen anytime, anywhere in the world, so that's no excuse not to tune in. This has been Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppy, saying peace out.
Happy Hour.